Hey, class of 2026, Dr. Richardson here. I hope everybody had a good week since the last time we were together. One of the things that I thought would be fun would be to share with you different places that I hope to go to one day. So I don't know if you know what's behind me. Hopefully you can just go ahead and put in the chat if you know what this is and maybe even where it is. So give you a few seconds to do that. Well, this is the Wall of China. I just think this is fascinating that this was built, and I would love to actually see it and actually be there. So this would be one of those places that I would love to go to one day. All right. So let's take a second, guys, and let's reflect back on our last week's lesson, which was about making mistakes and learning from them. So if you would use the hand and raise your hand, if any of you had an opportunity last week to make a mistake, I know I can raise my hand and tell you that I did. But if any of you had an opportunity last week to make a mistake and you actually learned from it, so just raise your hand. I'm going to pause the video, and you guys can talk about that and discuss that if you would like. So while you're doing that, I am going to share my screen. And we're going to meet and discuss roadblocks. So hopefully you're using a worksheet to guide you on that, because we want to incorporate writing. I think it's one of those learning styles. It's very effective in helping you to learn and understand the material, along with listening and the visual as well. So identifying roadblocks. In this lesson, we'll learn how to identify roadblocks we might face as we pursue our goals. And on that worksheet, there's actually a definition for a roadblock. But a roadblock is basically something that gets in your way of you accomplishing something that you want to do. So we're going to talk about that further, because I know a lot of us, I know I face roadblocks all the time with goals that I'm hoping to accomplish. So here's our first warm up. So think of a time you had trouble achieving a goal. So that means you got to think of a goal, and think of a time that you had trouble achieving that goal. So write down at least 2 things, and those are roadblocks, 2 things that got in the way of you accomplishing the goal. So I'm going to pause the video, and you guys come up with this warm up. Okay, so welcome back. I'm going to share a goal that I have. I would love to exercise on a more regular basis. Well, the 2 things that get in my way, number 1 is me. I am tired. When I come home, I'm tired and I don't want to go, so I'll come up with 1,000 excuses, but basically it's me. I'm tired. The second roadblock could be the weather. I like to walk outside. So a big thing that is a roadblock for me is actually walking outside, or is the weather. So now we're going to watch a video that's going to give you an example of someone who set a goal and the different roadblocks that they encountered.
My name's Vera. I'm a new student at the Second Step Academy, a superhero training school where teens like me can study to reach their full potential. I'm excited, but also a little nervous to be starting here. I think I have a pretty cool ability. Check this out. I can affect the gravitational fields around me, so I can move things, like this lunch tray.
Watch it!
I'm still getting used to my abilities. Oops. But my teachers say I have the potential to lift heavy objects, and once I gain better control of my powers, I may even be able to fly. My long-term goal is to join the Academy's elite superhero squad, the Paragons. and go on incredible adventures. To make it onto the team, we have to complete a test to prove we're ready. It's ambitious, but I'm willing to put in the work to achieve it. I don't want to get ahead of myself. After the mess in the cafeteria today, I think I need to focus on my short-term goals before I even consider trying out for the Paragons. It's not going to be easy, and I'll face some roadblocks along the way, but I think I'm ready.
Okay, so what happened in that video? Like, what were some things that you picked up on that? What were some different things? So you can discuss that in the chat, so you can put me on pause. Let you guys do that. Now let's break this down. Let's talk about types of roadblocks. So a roadblock is something that gets in the way of achieving a goal. There's two different types of roadblocks. And I don't know if you guys remember this or not, but last year I talked to you about the circle of control. So remember, picture two circles, a smaller circle, and then outside of that smaller circle, there's a larger circle. So the inside circle are the things that are within your control. Those are the things that you can control. The outside circle are those external things, the things that you cannot control. So that's kind of how I look at this, but this is a different way of looking at this as achieving your goals. So an internal roadblock is that inside circle. It's something within your control that gets in the way of achieving a goal. So it's something you have control over. Like, for example, with me in the exercise, my willpower is something that gets in the way of accomplishing my goal. So that's an example. It's the inside circle. It's something you have control over. External roadblocks, here's the definition. It's something in your environment that gets in the way of achieving a goal. For example, I love to walk, and the weather, it may be raining, and that would get in the way of me accomplishing my goal. So that's an example of an external roadblock. However, I have been known to use an umbrella or to put on a raincoat, and that's when that becomes something that I can control. That's how I could adapt and to change that external roadblock. So that's just a little example. So this next activity that we're going to do, you're going to help Vera sort these roadblocks. And so what I'm going to ask you to do is I'm going to ask your teacher to pause the video. And when you guys come back, I'm going to have the answers already there for you. So, go through self-doubt, no powers allowed at home. Other students say she's not good enough and forgets training uniform. So I need you to identify, is this an internal or an external roadblock? Okay, so looking at this, we're going to check and see if I got this right, but self-doubt and forgets training uniform, those are definitely internal things. Those are things that she could control. She can control the way she thinks, and she can also control whether or not she remembers her training uniform. Like, for example, she could hang it out the night before and have it and put it on. External, no powers allowed at home. We have to do what our families tell us, and when that's the rules at home, we need to follow those. And other students saying she's not good enough. She has absolutely no control over that, but she does have control over how it affects her. So those are just some things to think about. So let's check and see if I got it right, which I did. So yay. Okay. I'm going to move to the next activity. Now in your handout, it'll give you a little bit of a background of this. But Mark wants to have a band. He wants to one day be a famous musician. And I know a lot of you have dreams of being in a band or being a famous musician one day, just similar to Mark. So we're going to go through here, and you guys are going to do this activity together. But what we're going to do is look at this first one, not practicing regularly. Is that an internal or an external roadblock? So write in your chat and pause the video and just write in your chat. If you said internal, you are correct. No quiet place at home to practice. Is that an internal or external? So give you guys time, pause the video, give you time to put in the chat if that's internal or external. If you said external, you are correct. Well, we'll see in just a second. No friends want to join his band. Does he have any control over that? So take a second, write it in the chat, pause the video. All right, and then this last one is can't afford a good guitar. And this one you may kind of question about, but we're going to put it under the internal because he's the one that, he could save up. There's different things that he could do. So we're going to check and see if I got these correct. And I did, which is awesome. It's lovely being correct. Sometimes we're not, though, and I would have learned why I didn't get it correct, because the main thing is to understand if it's internal, external. The main thing is to understand the content, not whether or not you get it right, is to learn. That's the main goal. Okay. So now we're going to go to the wrap-up activity. So think about the things, like at the very beginning, we came up with a goal. And think about the things that got in the way of you achieving the goal that you identified. Decide right now if they're internal or external roadblocks, and then explain why. So pause the video. All right, class of 2026, I've enjoyed this time with you, and I hope you're starting to understand the themes that's going on, and we want you guys to just enjoy your year. There's so many things that we can't control that are going on right now, and my encouragement is to focus on those things that you can control, that internal circle of control, and the things that you can't control, figure out how to adjust and to be flexible and to accommodate and to do what you can to help every day get a little bit easier. So until next time, take care. I hope you learn, and I hope you enjoy your day. So bye, class of 2026. Bye-bye.